Welcome back to The Line. Paper or plastic? That's a phrase you won't be hearing at most Albuquerque checkout counters come January 1 if Mayor Tim Kellis signs off the plastic bag ban. City Council has voted for it this week. And Sophie, the City Council approved the Clean and Green retail ordinance, I love that name, Monday night with some major amendments. Plastic bags will be banned at groceries, supermarkets, and retail outlets, but not at restaurants or dry cleaners.
Right.
A lot of compromise going on there.
And the other compromise that happened in that process was that styrofoam containers were stripped out of the.
That's right.
And straws. Plastic
and
straws were also
That's
stripped
right.
out. Now, I will say, I've been watching this closely. I do know that private companies have started to look at whether they want to continue to use straws, to continue to use other types of plastic. Starbucks made an announcement that they were this year going to phase out straws in most circumstances at their stores. So, you know, it's not. It may feel right now like Albuquerque's ahead of the pack. Of course, we're a bit behind Santa Fe. But even just this week, Sunset Magazine posted on their Facebook page a thing about municipalities in the West getting rid of bags and straws and things like that. This is a big movement. And Albuquerque is not the first, but I'm pleased to say we won't be the last. I just wish that straws and styrofoam had been
here,
included.
I have brought you
The best gift you could have given me.
A visual
Put it
aid.
in my
There you
drink.
go.
There you go.
I'm gonna put it in my drink.
Ed, interestingly, I want to go to this amendment or the carve out for restaurants here a little bit. That's disappointing for some people because they feel like that was where a lot of the, contribution for 120 million bags in our city. Is that going to work itself through? I mean, we're sensitive to the costs involved, but marketplaces being what they are, don't bigger uses of things tend to bring down the cost eventually? Meaning the paper bags.
Right.
Everyone's worried about they cost more than plastic, but that will come down over time with more usage, wouldn't you think?
Well, when it comes to paper bags, I remember back in the day when grocery stores and other business establishments primarily used paper bags.
I was a bagger in the high school.
And somewhere along the line, I recall the news back when saying, "Oh no, we're doing damage to our forest. We're cutting down too many trees. Let's back down. And, hey, we have this great idea. Let's use plastics. There's so much less expensive to produce." Well, we've seen what we gotten ourselves into. Worldwide, this isn't a local issue. This is a worldwide, a global, ecological issue.
That's right.
You know, all the data shows that our oceans are just being polluted with plastics. We have a lot of the sea life who are dying in great numbers. And when they do they find them washed on shore and do autopsies. They find they're filled with a lot of plastic.
That's right.
So it's worldwide that has this huge impact, and then it brings us back to locally, right? And what we see on the streets. The first time the wind blows and we look at the fence line and we see plastic lined up along the fence line.
That's right. So
it is severe, and I like what Sophie mentioned, that we really need to, or we need to look at the corporations. I think they're the solution, right? I mean, it's nice to pass this bill and put it on the backs of the consumer and the small businesses.
And in some ways, I think, if I can add to what you're
sure.
saying, in some ways, I think what a bill like this does is it gives other parts of industry an opportunity. So there's actually a shortage at one point of paper straws. They couldn't make them fast enough. You know what I mean? So that there's an industry developing there. So you're right. I think a lot of this is going to end up happening through business.
That's right. Tom, one of the very first, I'll come back to you on this point, one of the very first emails I got from a friend, it's like, here's the opening for hemp. Here's the, for a new way of doing things, you know what I mean? And we could be on the front end of that. But I say again, the paper thing is not, as Ed mentioned, we've done this before in society. It's not as if this is a brand new thing that we don't know how to do.
Yeah.
We know how to bag things in paper, so what's the issue here? What's the problem?
Well, the issue is, the stuff that we see.
Right.
I enjoy spending time in the foothills. A lot of us spend time outdoors.
Right.
And what's the one thing we always are picking out of our shrubbery or seen on the trail are those plastic bags from shopping market, shopping stores and stuff. And so, that's the irritant. And I don't think we've seen any kind of outrage like this since McDonald's moved from their styrofoam packing of the Big Mac into a cardboard. And as interesting as that was, but what I thought was interesting is how late the business community was and I'm in the business community, it was on this particular issue. You know, the Greater Albuquerque Chamber of Commerce, the New Mexico Restaurant Association, both came out against this, but at the 11th hour. And they came, you know, the arguments that they made were very compelling arguments, and
right.
you know, were enough to give folks pause for concern. You know, the most important of their arguments, I think, was, you know, the whole plastic versus paper kind of deal, and the pressure it'll place on the landfills, but also the economic impact of places like Golden Pride and Garcia's, which are looking at anywhere, so they say, but about $250,000 of increased costs.
Right.
So there's a business side to it, but there's also, you know, doing the right thing side to it as well. And I think that's what the
tough
city
to-
council really
yeah.
wanted to be able to do, is say, you know what, we have to do the right thing.
Yeah, interesting. Dee Dee, 5 Democrats for, 3 Republicans against. Were you surprised there at how the vote went down?
I guess not. I'm surprised that there was so much Republican opposition,
Were you?
actually,
Okay.
because Albuquerque as a city has a big history of keep Albuquerque beautiful. It's an anti-litter kind. There are 2 different issues here. There's litter and there's also recycling. And as in the recycling part, there's also what an individual can do and what a company, or what are the market-wide forces here. So it's definitely not a partisan issue, although it often breaks down that way because small businesses say it'll cost a lot of money. But, you know, we do have to look at it globally, which, you know, sometimes city councilors do, sometimes legislators do, but often they act parochially as well. But, you know, I think really we need to talk about what is the market for recyclables? Can we reuse these plastic bags somehow? That to me is like something that we need to do, and it is possible.
Right.
I mean, we were talking earlier about Trex bicycles, but there's a Trex decking that is made out of plastic, recycled stuff, and it is saving our forests too. Because paper bags also have an environmental cost as well. So it's a pretty complex equation to figure out, you know, what is the net energy savings here. But we do know that fewer plastic bags, fewer litter, fewer plastic bags caught in the trees that stay there for months.
And well, there's even a financial aspect to this as well, which I thought was interesting, with the fines that can be levied. You know, anywhere from $100 and $250 fines for additional offenses. You know, who's going to be the plastic police on this? You know, who's going to go out and say, hey, by the way, I noticed here's your $100 fine.
That's right.
And so I think that there's.
I feel like a squadron of 10-year-olds
Yeah.
in special
That's what it's
T-shirts
gonna
are going to go out.
not a
I
bad
would
idea.
love to see them out.
Waving the straws they got.
plastic
That's
You know,
right.
the truth is, though, you know, I've spent enough time in cities like Santa Fe, like San Francisco, like Santa Monica, that have had these ordinances in place for some time, and you see that there's some heartburn in the beginning, and then everyone adapts. You see people bringing their bags in.
right.
As I recall, Santa Fe did quite a nice job of making free bags available to people at the beginning, so that there would be less of an economic hit. And we, as humans, we're quite adaptable. We will get there.
We've got a minute left, Ed. I want to ask you a question. You know, Albertson says they're on board. There are other retailers out there that have been doing this. I want to note our local stars, Flying Star. If you get something through them through Grubhub, it comes in a paper bag. It doesn't come in plastic, so you can choose to do this. You know, you don't have to have an ordinance to do it. But is this the right way to go, to have an ordinance to make this thing happen, what Sophie's talking about here?
Well, I think the city council is getting ahead of himself just a little bit. I think, you know, Sophie alluded to here, we have to have a lot more education. People want to do the right thing if they know what to do. But there's been some talk here and there. This has been a big issue, you know, recently. But I think to teach and educate the community how to be more efficient, how to be more eco-friendly, I think people are more likely to do that. And I think that's where the focus has to be. This is also a local possible economic opportunity. I mean, we know it's a worldwide problem. Why don't local corporations here jump on this opportunity to try to create that bag that isn't so
right.
detrimental to our society.
like the way you're
So it's
thinking.
an opportunity.
That's right. Good stuff. Now, we're out of time on this issue, but when the line comes back, you hear their opinions on whether APD, the spokesperson there, should be ousted over breaking overtime rules to line his pockets.